Hey, what's up guys? Got a knife review for you today. This one's on loan, has been on loan for a while now. So a huge thank you to Vincent. He is the owner of this knife, and he's been patiently waiting for this, and this is being shipped out tomorrow. That's why I'm doing this review today. But had a great deal of time to play around with this. Used it a little bit, light EDC, just to see how that blade performs. Nothing insane. Of course, this is not my knife, so I didn't want to beat it up or anything, even though I got the green light to go ahead and use it normally. Anyway, we're going to review it now. So, obviously there's things about this I like, there's things I don't like. If you're part of the Balisong community, you're very privy to this kind of stuff. If you're not, it's all new. So welcome to the review, where you will learn some things, hopefully. So anyway, first off, normal Microtech stuff. You got the sleeve, okay, if you're into you know, saving your knives forever. You have this massive collection and a safe and stuff. This is all grand things to have. Nice little box, Chris Reeves style, even though Microtech's been doing it a long time too. You can see here the Tachyon 2 Stonewashed plain. This does come in a combo edge, does come in a serrated, or excuse me, Tanto version of this as well. This is the Bowie or Bowie, depending on how you say it. You can see a little signature, and it looks like, I don't know what that name is. It looks like a scribble. But yeah, it's inspected by Mr. Scribble. And it's probably writing like that because he has so many cuts on his hands. But anyway, normal Microtech stuff. Although instead of getting the Microtech sheath, they usually do these overbuilt, very cool sheaths, by the way. But they take about 5 minutes to take your knife out, so I don't you actually use them. They got the Velcro and the button, you know, whatever locking system. I can't think of what it's called. But you know, the snap-in buckle and just all kinds of crap. This one, which I was actually surprised, came in a nice bag, which is very Benchmade-esque. Benchmade does their little silk bags. What's cool about this, these bags, is that on the inside, you can see, attached to it is, it's a little button snap. This is interesting. I didn't find this out until I went to go put it back today. But you have a little chamois here to wipe your blade down. Very nice. And I would imagine there are people out there who own this knife and don't even know that. So go and check your bag. You have this thing in it, which is pretty cool. So I don't know, very small touch. Means almost nothing, but I like that. I thought that was kind of cool. Nice little surprise in there. But yeah, I was fascinated to see that they have a bag. Obviously, it's going to be cheaper to produce one of these, even with the bonus handkerchief, in case you need to blow your nose while you're flipping. I think it's cheaper to produce these, but I like it. I like it more than the sheath, unless of course you do happen to use those sheaths to carry. As far as the Balisong carry goes, I would not use it. Like I said, it's very slow to access. So yeah, you got that. All right, so let's get the box out of the way there. So we have our Balisong here. Okay, first thing I can tell you is I'm a fan. I am a big fan of this. It is extremely smooth to flip. It's pretty well balanced. It's very smooth because it has those phosphor bronze bushing system in here, which you can see very easily. A nice copper tone, or bronze tone, I suppose. But yeah, out of the box, it was very smooth. Something to note with this, like all Balisongs, you really should check your pivots and Loctite them if necessary. While flipping, the rotation will eventually back those screws out. I know a lot of companies, like Benchmade, they used to use Loctite from the factory and the old spring latch 42s, but for at least the last 2 years or so, they've been selling the Balisongs. They don't use any Loctite at the factory. I don't know if it's cheaper just to skip that step or what the deal is behind that, but you know, just something to be careful of. When you're using a Balisong, you don't want your handles falling apart. Even a high quality Balisong, it could fall apart if there's no Loctite in the pivots. Just by its design, it's constantly being rotated. Unlike, you know, your folding knives, it's different. There's much more of a radius, and they will back out on you. So let's jump right into one of the things I don't really care, but you may care. A lot of people would be like, oh, why? Why would they do that? It would be a negative to a lot of people, but honestly, you know, if you're gonna own a specific knife, you should have the tools to, you know, manipulate it. But anyway, jumping into it, yes, some of you guys see it already. The pivot screws, they take security Torx. So all you really have here is a Torx screw, and it has a little tiny, I don't know, post. I don't know what you'd call that. Little nipple inside the screw. They look like little nipples to me. But yeah, I don't know. I guess post is the better. We'll stick with post. But you can see there, in the middle, you have a little thing sticking up. And what that prevents you from doing is using a normal Torx screwdriver for this. It will not work. You need a security Torx bit. All that is a regular Torx driver. The sizes are the same. The only difference is the security Torx have a little hole, okay, so that it can push down into here. If you use a standard Torx, it's not going to turn, it's not going to grip anything, because the tops of the heads are beveled. Okay, so you do need security Torx drivers. They're a little bit hard to find locally at, like, you know, regular hardware shops, but you can easily order them online, and they are very cheap. So you may take that as a negative. It's not a huge deal to me. I don't know why they decided to use security Torx for the pivot, but like I said, it's not the end of the world. You can find them. They're not too expensive. Unlike, thank God, they didn't put their proprietary screw system in here. I'm a huge fan of Microtechs across the board. I mean, this is a quality balisong. It's a quality knife first, but it's still a very, very good balisong at that. But I don't know what the deal is with Microtech and using their proprietary stuff. So even though this is a little bit of a nuisance, thank God it's not one of those funky alien-shaped heads, you know, you need to get their $100 set for. So I'll give them that. You can buy this tool for $3 or $4 on eBay, you know, and be done with it. So no big deal there. It is a larger knife. This is longer than the original Tachyon. Now, first of all, the original Tachyon was a Grail balisong back in the day. If you happen to miss that era of balisong history, that was the one to have. Even when the 42, everyone loved those, you know, but the Microtech Tachyon was the crap. It was awesome. Really, really awesome. They had a bunch of spare blades. They ended up making a second run with aluminum handles instead of titanium and blah, blah, blah. But when I saw the Tachyon 2 was coming out, that same overall look, although the blade is quite different, you know, that triangular pattern on the handles, very squared off look. I like it. I am a fan of it. But anyway, it is longer, so you have more real estate on the handle to flip this. Of course, it's going to be a positive for a lot of people. The shorter the handle, the harder it is to do certain manipulations. You literally have less to grab onto. And when the knife's flying around in your hand, the longer the better. Up to a certain point. You know, when you get those giant balisongs, they are hard to wield and flip around. But we're looking at a 4.5-inch blade on this. Nice stonewash finish. I love Microtech stonewash. If I can give a closer view of this. Get the camera to focus here. You can see birth date on here to the left, December 2012. Okay, and then of course the serial number. This is 154 cm, which has been a very proven steel in use. It becomes razor sharp, as all Microtechs do out of the box. Very slender blade. Of course, this is the Bowie or Bowie style. I like the cutouts in the blade. As far as function goes, if you're going to use this knife, cutouts look cool, but they're a downside. That's another spot for dirt and grime and gunk to get into. It's very hard to clean. Will fill up with crap, and it does you know, take away from the cutting performance ever so slightly. If you're cutting into something, that material has a chance now to get lodged in the blade, which, you know, gives you resistance. As far as looks, most of you out there who are going to get this balisong, you do one or two things with it. You're going to put it in a little display case, or you're going to put it in a pouch and show it off to your friends, or you're going to flip the thing. So very few of you are going to EDC a balisong. Not a huge issue, but do consider that. It looks very cool, but it's not, it takes away from the function of the blade slightly. But I love, obviously, the very acute point on this due to the blade style. It is a slender blade. I found because it's so darn sharp, it slices well. But with a slender blade like that, it will have a steeper grind, of course. Long-term performance, I do not know. Unfortunately, like I said, I can't use this long-term, nor can I use it really, really hard because it's not mine. Just want to respect the owner. But overall, I love it. I love that it's a little bit larger as far as the blade style change. I believe the first one had a fuller in it, so that's why they went with the cutouts. I like it. It's cool. It's, you know, 6 to 1, half dozen the other. The first one I thought was very sexy looking as well. But, you know, it is what it is. Security Torx for the pivots, but standard Torx screws for the standoffs. Okay, this is a sandwich design balisong. Okay, flow through design. And we have those barrel spacers here. All right. There is one of the barrel spacers does act as a latch gate. Okay, prevents our latch from coming into contact with the blade when we're flipping. This particular specimen is perfect. You can see tight tolerances there, just misses. But I saw 2 cases on YouTube alone where the tolerances were slightly off and there was just touching. Okay, so there was damage to the tip. I don't know if that's a something that happens often, but this one is absolutely perfect. Speaking of the latch, love the latch design. Okay, this kind of cone-shaped tip on this also matches the female sides of the pivot screws, which is a nice little touch, nice detail. I really like that. It's very cool. You know what they look like. But anyway, we have double tang pins on this. Okay, as far as the tension, close is perfect. They act exactly like they should. You do have to squeeze the handles. It locks up perfectly. There's no jiggling or anything. I would imagine with the quality of this this knife that would last a while. However, and a big however, and this is what everyone right away when this knife came out, everyone in the battle song community, they started getting these, playing with them, looking at them. The first thing that everyone noticed, as did I, and did a big WTF, is this this tang pin. This tang pin is a roll pin. And no one has any idea in the world why they use the roll pin for this. All right, this is like having a sports car and going to the junkyard and putting, cheap used flat tires on it with no tread. It doesn't make sense. You have this beautiful work of art, this high-end little piece of machinery here. Okay, very beautifully done. And then you put a roll pin? Now, there's a couple problems with this. First of all, it's not adjustable. It's not easily replaceable. Not everyone at home can replace a roll pin if it happens to break. Okay, they do break. You can see it's a hollow pin. This makes me wonder with heavy use, whether you're flipping, latching, unlatching all the time. By the way, latching open, again, perfect tension here, the tang pins and tang cups. But, with use, is that going to loosen up? Is this latch going to freely, fall down? Another issue is tension. With this one, it's kind of loose here, and then there's a little resistance here, so it'll stay open. If you're, put in this position while flipping, it's not moving for me, but other people have different tension because the roll pins are not as consistent as a standard screw. So some people have a floppier latch, some people have a stiffer latch to move. With use, it's probably going to loosen up. Plus, if some people want to remove their latch, they want that option. Some people don't like flipping with a latch. If you're going to actually EDC a balisong with a sheath, some people like to EDC it latchless, so it's easily accessible. They don't have to worry about locking it or unlocking it. Not that it's commonly done, but of course you may want to swap it to the other side. Who knows? But you don't have that option. You have a roll pin, a cheap, cheesy little roll pin. It's so awesome, and then wah, wah, wah. And I don't know why. I want some answers. But anyway, it's definitely noticeable. It's definitely a huge bummer. When the knife's new, it doesn't affect the performance. Like I said, the latch is open and closed beautifully. But the question is, how long is it going to last? I don't know. I don't know why they cheaped out on that. But overall, it is a fantastic knife. 4.7 ounces, so it's going to be a little bit heavier than your standard 42, which is, of course, I use as a reference all the time because it's a very balanced knife. Some drawbacks to this as far as flipping is, of course, it is a very squared-off design. So fanning, twirling, those manipulations you could do with the balisong. Having such a squared off design like this, of course, anytime it's going to be rotating your hand, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to do than if you had more of a radius on your corners. It's not by any means sharp. It's nice and smooth and everything, but just just simple logic would tell you that if it's square and it's rolling around in your hand, it's going to be a little bit more difficult than if it's round. But so be it. I didn't find it to hinder those manipulations too much, but it definitely was noticeable compared to some other balisongs you may be used to, manipulating or flipping. Overall, I like the knife. I really do like the knife. This bugs me. The roll pin really I don't know why it gets under my skin. The security Torx bits means nothing to me. Not a big deal. If I wanted to adjust this, I simply go get that tool if I didn't have it. I already have it. because I've run into that with other knives in the past. So I invested the $3 or $4 and got the tool. So that's not a huge deal. Blade steel is great. Like I said, comes super sharp. Nice looking knife overall. It's just those little tiny things here and there. Being squared off, if you're like a hardcore flipper, that's going to be an issue for you. If you're an amateur or even just a moderate flipper, not a huge deal. If you're going to use your knife, not a huge deal. Heavy flipping, the squared off design might be an issue for you. The roll pin on the latch might be an issue for you. Again, these are, you know, with heavy use. So it's definitely worth noting. But overall, I like the knife. These run about 280 bucks or so. About 280 to 310 is what I see them sell for. The question is it worth it? 280 bucks. That's not a, you know, it's not pocket change. It's a lot of money. On the grand scheme of things, as far as balisongs go and what options are out there, is it worth it? That's the ultimate question. There's a couple really expensive balisongs out there. Is it worth getting this one over something else? Well, it's preference. I think if you spend 280 bucks on this, you would be happy with it. Again, don't know where that's going to lead. But other than this, if this wasn't an issue for you, I think it is a nice quality knife. Okay, titanium handles, 154 cm for the blade. You know, materials are very nice. It does flip. It is very smooth. It's very elegant and super sharp. You know, what else you could ask for in a knife? But, you know, overall looks, that's really what you're going by. The quality's there. I can assure you the quality's there, minus this whole latch issue. So I think it's worth 280 bucks. But, you know, compared to, like, say, a 62 or a 51, you know, from Benchmade, or some other offerings out there, you know, there's a lot more balisongs coming on the scene, production balisongs, you know. But I think it's worth it. Just my opinion. I think it's worth it. Microtech's always impressed me. I've never had a Microtech I didn't like. You know, they're automatics. I prefer really Microtech manual folders. I think they make some awesome folders, and they have for a very long time. I've owned many of them. The Kestrel being one of my favorites. The manual Amphibian I used to have. I missed that one. I had a manual Greg Lightfoot designed LCC. Actually, I also had a dual action LCC. Some awesome Microtechs. And I've never had the you know, the chance to own an original Tachyon. Right now, if you find one for 700 bucks, that'd be a deal. They're getting outrageous prices. But the Tachyon 2, I think, would be a very nice addition to anyone's balisong collection, whether you use it or not. So I'm all for it. I think it's really cool. It offers enough of what you want in a balisong to make it worth that $280 price tag. So that's all. And that's my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Take it easy.